Let's talk about the 4 types of appointments. The first type of appointment is what I call an A1 appointment. An A1 appointment is an appointment that you set for today. In other words, more than 75% of customers, if you set an appointment on a phone inquiry for the same day, they'll actually show up. Over 50% will show up if it's tomorrow. And that's why I call tomorrow the A2 appointment. They're actually the only type of appointments that I want you to make at your dealership. The problem with the third type, the A3 appointment, is it goes from 48 hours to a week's time, 2 weeks' time. Now that's not an appointment because we know that the show-up rate on those appointments is under 20%. So what you need to do is if you're going to set a tentative appointment for a week's time or 2 weeks' time, you have to reappoint them at a later stage. So in other words, you have to keep in touch with this customer between now and when the appointment is scheduled for in order to not just reconfirm the appointment, but actually reset the appointment. We know the reason that this happens is because a lot changes between now and 2 weeks' time, maybe when they set the appointment on the internet. And so what you need to be doing is keeping in regular contact with an A3 and turning them into an A1, which is today, or an A2, which is tomorrow. Otherwise, the chances of them showing up are very small. What's the 4th type of appointment that I want to talk about today? And that is the take it to thems. In other words, where you set an appointment at the customer's home or work in order to take them a vehicle. I believe that if a car has a number plate screwed to the front of it in your dealership and it spends every day sitting on the bricks out the front or alternatively overnight in your yard, then you are wasting a massive opportunity. The reality is that people are time poor today. And what we need to be doing is offering to take the vehicle at a no obligation at all, home or alternatively office test drive. And the reason why I say no obligation is because I speak to many dealerships about doing these take it to them test drives. And they say, yeah, we do that. But we make sure that we ask them a lot of qualifying questions to make sure they're serious on that car before going out to them. And I go, why? Do you ask those same questions before a customer makes an appointment in your dealership? Of course not. If somebody says they want to come in and test drive a Nissan X-Trail tomorrow at 2 o'clock, you'll take that appointment. But if somebody says, could you bring a Nissan X-Trail to my home at 2 o'clock, we have to ask all these qualifying questions to make sure they're serious and if we came out that they're actually going to do the deal. But here's the pure math behind it. Is 100% of the customers that you set a take it to them appointment for, you show up to, don't you? You show up for that appointment. So we were already more than twice a better appointment than somebody that comes into the dealership tomorrow or sets an appointment for a dealership visit tomorrow. So let me encourage you, you must be offering home test drives or office test drives if at all possible. If you've got a car that is the vehicle that they're looking at and it's a demonstrator, it's a pre-owned, or alternatively it's not that far distance to the customer's home or work, you need to put a tray plate on the back and take the vehicle to the customer. And please don't ask them qualifying questions, because you know what's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is you get out there, you test drive them, you spend an hour of their time and your time, maybe half an hour getting there, half an hour back, you spend 2 hours out of the dealership and they don't buy a car. In fact, even worse, they make a decision to buy another product after driving yours. Have they wasted your time? Well, yeah, by definition they have. But was that any worse than a customer that came in and did exactly the same thing and spent an hour or two at your dealership? We don't say that they're nowhere. We don't say that they're a complete waste of time. So what I want you to do is understand that the best place to do a deal with a customer is when they're comfortable. And where's a customer more comfortable? In the dealership or in their home or work? Of course, in their home or work.